wiser with wine. Wiser with wine. Keeping it real, one pour at a time. This is wiser with wine.
Podcast 5.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh, we've got so much to talk about today. We're so excited. It's going to be jam-packed with lots of old truths, history, science, and we'll talk about what we're going to talk about. I'll introduce that in a moment. But I thought I'd ask my fellow sister-in-laws here, Sils, how was your morning?
Oh,
You can go, I'm fine.
I had a great morning. Christo came home last night from FIFO stint, so this morning was like Christmas Day for the children. Raphael was so excited. He was like, "Oh, Daddy's home," and then continued to bring him all the toys that had broken during his time apart and asked him to fix them first thing this morning. So, yeah, we had a great morning.
Fantastic.
Really good morning.
Lucy, how was your morning?
I was alive and I breathed well. I didn't kill anyone, as you saw when you came in.
I dropped by Lucy's really earlier today just to drop off something, and yeah, you were doing well. Because I'm not sure if I can face anyone first thing in the morning. I'm one of those people. If you see me in the morning, I actually don't talk to anyone. I grunt at my husband, and even when my little boy's talking to me, it's hard for me to be happy, but I try my best.
Really?
Really, yeah. But I've had 4 coffees since then, so I'm great.
That's what I'm lacking in.
I was just going to talk about my morning because I've had an argument already. It's already early in the morning. So, you know, I like planning my trips away for my family. I've told everyone I'm a planner. And basically I was dealing with an online accommodation provider. And of all the apartments that I could have actually booked in Melbourne, this is for my Melbourne trip coming up in the next couple of weeks. This is the only person I reckon that has a no refund policy. The only person. Because Melbourne's such a busy place, you'd anticipate.
What do you mean? Pride, so you can't cancel?
Yeah, so
When you book it, that's it?
yeah, once you're booked, you're paid, you're done. And look, Melbourne's about 3 or 4 weeks away.
Oh, wow. I've never.
And I have used this particular provider in all of our trips, and I can't tell you how much, financial dependence we have given them and, revenue, because that's all we use. And I like using them. And so I received a message yesterday that said, "Oh, we understand that you're unhappy with the no refund policy and we're going to give you a 50% voucher." And so my lovely husband got on board, and when you get Peter on board, he'll back you up.
50% ain't good enough.
50% ain't good enough at all. And so basically they called me this morning, which was nice, and in the car I just let it rip. I said to them, "Look, this is just uncalled for. This person has time to fill the room. If we go past there when we're in Melbourne, there's somebody else in there. I'm going to go to consumer law. And all my trips that I'm booking for Europe later in the year, I'm going to cancel everything."
So you've gone like big guns blazing.
And I won. I got the refund.
Girl.
Just got the message then. And I was just thinking about this. I think about this yesterday in general conversations I have with girlfriends and, and gentlemen as well, that we always have to seem like we have to fight for stuff these days. Because if you don't stick up for yourself, it just doesn't happen. Would you agree?
100%.
Yes,
I love
but I'm
how
not one of
things
things
automated. A lot of things are automated now. So and then there's exceptions to those rules. But if you don't get past that automation process, if you're an exception,
I don't want to
something's
live. I know
unfair.
I don't want to live chat.
Yeah.
I want to yell at someone real.
bot, yeah.
Yes, I want to yell at someone
Why
real.
do you need to get to yelling? You're meaning when it goes beyond.
Well, no, it goes beyond for me because of the fact that it was a no refund policy. That's what it comes down to. That's beyond for me. That's just ridiculous.
Especially so far out.
And
In a busy place. And during a footy time, they'll just book it again within 30 seconds. That place will be booked again.
And I called her and I was polite to her. And then when I'm not polite anymore, I'm not polite.
Yeah.
That's it.
Can
That's
you
the way
just
it goes.
describe your polite? Were you
No.
direct but nice?
We'll touch base on this as we go through. I'm a
Oh,
Libran.
yes. Let's explain.
Okay, so
let's figure out why you are the way you are.
Let's start talking about what we are. Today we're doing astrological signs, Chinese signs, and and looking at good old astrology, because I'm from Fremantle and we are all astrological, crazy. And I did grow up in Fremantle markets and go to tarot card readers and all those type of things. And I feel like it's something that's probably not taken seriously as it was when I was growing up, because now we've got mobile phones that tell us everything and, internet. But we didn't have that back when I was a teenager. We didn't have someone telling us what the weather was for the next 10 days on an Instagram post. We didn't have those things. So we had to find things that were interesting to go and do. And if you were a little bit creative in Fremantle, you'd go get your astrological chart done. And I did mine when I was 18, and that particular chart is a blueprint of my life. There's things on there that are very true.
You still got it?
Yeah, I've still got it. I've still got it at home. Yeah, it's really quite cool. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about astrology, the 12 signs. Also, just wanted to let you know that my dog, my brother, my dad, and my son are all Scorpios.
Oh.
And that's true. So
Can you imagine that household?
they're all Scorpio.
No wonder I would have started drinking.
And anyone-
That's when she started drinking.
And anyone I've argued with is a Scorpio as well. So you can imagine, that's my life path, right?
When you spoke to the person on the phone this morning, you're like, are you a Scorpio? I need to know how this conversation is going to go.
Did you ask them?
I know. I knew deep down that we probably were a Scorpio. But then also, so if we run through the signs, I can run them off for you really quickly. We start with Aries, then we move to Taurus, then we move to Gemini, then we move to Cancer, then we go to Leo, then we go to Virgo, then we go to Libra, then we go to Scorpio, we go to Sagittarius, then we go to Capricorn, and we go to Aquarius, and then we go to Pisces. Now, if I've forgotten anyone, forgive me, but I think I did that pretty damn good. So they're the 12 astrological signs, and it all depends. It all depends on what date of birth, and you fall under a particular sign. But we'll delve more into that because there's more behind that. And then we're also going to look at Chinese signs, something that I'm also fascinated with.
She loves them.
I do.
Constantly talk about them.
It's totally different because Western astrology is based on months. So in a certain month, you're a certain sign. The Chinese or the Eastern world do it on a certain year. So when you're in a particular year, you're a certain element and you're a certain animal. Just a bit of back history on that, though. How that came about is basically a emperor by the name Jade Emperor decided to have a race with all these animals in the race, and whoever came first would be the first Chinese sign, the second Chinese sign, and the third, So there's oxes, there's snakes, there's a rat, there's a dog, and cat lovers out there, there's no cat because a cat fell in the water.
I can't swim.
Do you know what I just realised? I was thinking that where's a cat?
Yeah, there's no cat.
Yeah.
And I don't like cats, so I actually don't mind. So
What's wrong with cats?
I don't like cats. I'm allergic to them.
Oh, I love cats.
Yeah.
I love
I
cats.
was just going to say she really loves cats.
So, well, that's what
I feel you though.
So there's
no offense.
there's no cat in
It
the
all depends on the cat as well. Like,
so
big
the
difference.
cat fell in the water, and then the rat hitched a ride on the ox. It's a really interesting backstory. So if you ever want to know
Riveting.
I think it's a nice bit of
No,
history.
it is interesting.
It's a nice bit of history to
You really love it.
I do. I love it. So we'll talk about that, and we're going to talk about the release of our new segment, which is Watch, Sip, Repeat. I'm going to be talking about our latest show that we watched, which we'll talk about later. All right. So what I did for you, and just I want you to understand how astrology is so important in my life. So I'm a bit like Madonna, where,
Oh, God.
Madonna is a Leo, and she was hiring her new dance tour people coming up, and this is about 30 years ago. Basically, she said to this guy, "Are you a Scorpio?" And he said yes. She goes, "Well, I can't hire you."
Are you for real?
Isn't now that like discrimination? Wouldn't that be
Astrological
classed as-
discrimination.
Yeah.
No, she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, I guess,
But so, and then she said, "I'm not hiring you because you are, you're that,
And
you're
we're not going to get along.
We're not going to work.
XYZ.
We're not going to work
That
with
is
that."
absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
And then also, look, I'm a Below Deck fan, as you know.
So am I. Have you seen the series?
I know it's so much fun, isn't it?
They're all idiots.
Are you Captain Kerry?
Yeah, I'm watching that one.
Yeah.
I'm up to the episode where the 5 gay porn stars get on the boat.
Oh, you
God,
on board,
you know what?
Alex?
Sorry, you know what I love? Side note, I loved when they were doing their preference sheet and they go lube
Yeah,
needs
in
to be in
every
every
room.
room.
I
And
know.
I didn't. Do you know what it was? I didn't hear they were porn stars. I just thought 5 men. Like no, that they weren't gay. That just heard
5
porn,
men.
and I was like, what the hell would they need lube for?
No, there's 5
Then when I saw them, I
gay
went,
porn
oh
stars.
yes.
By the way, this is not watch, sit, repeat. This is us just diverting off the topic.
Sorry, I
but
got really excited.
in saying that, I know that Captain Kerry is a Sagittarius because I looked him up. And then I know that Captain Jason, who I absolutely
Oh, I love
adore,
him. He's
shout
hot.
out to Captain Jason, is a Libran.
If you're
like-
listening,
Hello,
please come on our podcast.
hello. He's a Libran. So,
Your best second husband.
yeah, I know. Well, he's, exactly like me. Charming, diplomatic, good looking.
Oh Jesus Christ! God.
Now, a question for you both, though. How does this astrology played in your life? I keep talking about it, and I can talk about it for hours. Start with you, Lucy. Astrology. I know we've
Trying to
had
think when we were younger.
we had chats about this.
it would pace my week.
Really? You'd read
You know,
it?
younger when you get your magazines every
Yeah.
week and watch and read them, and they'd be like, oh my God, you'd base your sickies on them if I was going to have a bad week. It tended to be a bad week, but it was only because I was drinking the weekend before that would, align in the stars. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of deviated from that a bit and then went kind of back to it.
For me, I wouldn't say like I was a day-to-day or a week-to-week followed by horoscope and understood, but it always felt like I had like an affinity to the planets and the stars because I was born on something called the harmonic convergence, which happened between the 16th
never
and the
heard of that.
17th of August, 1987. It's when the sun, the moon, and 6 planets aligned. And all these people around the world got together and did like a coordinated meditation thing and sung Kumbaya.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So you're
And it was
special, is that what you're trying
aligned
to
with
say?
like this Aztec calendar of this like almost like 1200 year period of hell, which meant to switch over on this date and this time. And I was born at 12:45 in the morning. So almost like the exact moment that this occurred. So I always was obsessed with the planets and alignment. I remember in like year 6, I did an art project where we had to make like a clay art project. And I did like all the planets aligned and like I still this so I was always obsessed, and then I am a very stereotypical Leo and all of that kind of stuff, which we'll go into. So that always like rung true for me, but I wasn't a day-to-day horoscope follower, but in life I definitely
I will say
always
this, I
felt
have had
connected.
friends. So I was just remembering this when we were talking about it before. So we had a work, I can't remember where, I can't actually, a work colleague. And so they were obviously not from Australia, but they've been living here for a long time and had a partner, and they were, from the same, from India. So they were, both had migrated here, were living together, and they were together for like, I think 3 or 4 years, maybe a bit longer. And he was talking to us, talking about what did you do on the weekend? He's like, I was thinking of proposing. But then what he had done was, this is so mad. So you know how they've got like a million different religions and they've got all this and stuff. So I can't remember what his religion is or what his belief was, but he actually believed in he went back, told his parents, and then they went to their, I don't know, priestess or whatever they call them, their like, guru god. And they would do like, when back in school, when you did names. You crushed and it had to get 100%. It's kind of like that. They do like their signs, their star signs and stuff. And apparently they didn't bode well together. They were like under 50%. And so we were like, what does that mean? And he was like, I can't marry her. Like it just won't work. And so we were like, Westerners, we're like, what the hell? You've been pushing her along for all these years. You're not going to get married. But side note, they did, but I don't know how they've gone.
Oh, wow.
But they were really, he was like, family was so into it.
And
Like I went to his signs and her signs and all this stuff. I was like, that's mad.
And there are certain cultures,
But
as
it's cool.
you know, that do that they look at astrological signs and this is not going to work because of this, this, and this. But I think it's important that I have to tell you that, Lucy, you're a Piscean.
Yes, very much so.
And Alex, you are a Leo. And I can say to you, we'll talk about this more, but I can say, looking at Lucy, I know she's a Pisces. Pisceans stereotypical have beautiful eyes, and there's no doubt that Lucy has beautiful dreaming.
It's your
you do,
greatest
you
feature.
got
Thanks. You're an absolute
eyes
bitch,
are
but you've got nice eyes.
stunning.
Thank you, Alex.
They are.
Stunning.
And they are. I agree.
That's
They're
like my
stunning.
most favourite thing
Yeah.
about you. I was like hoping my kids were going to, because Christo's got similar eyes. I was hoping it was going to pass
they're,
down.
they're beautiful.
My kids have got
green-
brown eyes. No offense to brown eyed people, but
Yeah, thanks.
You know what I mean? Like,
And then I look at Alex and I see that she's got this beautiful mane. And even before Alex told me, I went, oh,
She's going to roar.
I said she's a Leo because she's king of the jungle. So those are little things that I think once you get involved in astrology, which I have my whole life, I can probably talk to somebody, and I have this little thing a game in my head that I play that I wonder if I can guess their sign.
Actually, when you crack the shits at someone, you're like, oh, typical Virgo. I was like,
Yes, no, I say that. And if you do something, I'll go typical Aquarian or typical Capricorn, or I'll just know because I know the traits of most of the signs. So that's how astrology has been really quite
heavy in your life.
influential in my life. So furthermore to that,
Let's get into it.
let's see. So for Alex and for Lucy, I did their astrological like rising and moon.
I have had mine done though.
Yeah, you've had that done before. I don't think you've ever had it done.
I'd
before,
never done it
Alex.
until this.
So basically, what you do, and this is a quick tip: go online and go rising sign calculator, and it's free. So you put in the time that you were born. So you have to ask your mum what time you were born, and basically what it does, it calculates the time in accordance to the universe. So it looks at your rise. So you've got your main sign, which is your star sign, the day you were born. Then you have your rising sign. So the rising sign is a sign that was in the east when you were born, and then you have your moon sign.
God, you've already lost me. Yeah, go on.
So rising.
Yeah, got it. I've got it.
Moon.
East is that way.
This is
Star.
too much for me. Like, all right.
Okay.
It
So
just rises the
I
sun.
basically did that for you. I asked you all for your time of birth, etc., etc. And we'll do Alex first. So Alex is a Leo by sign. Her rising is Taurus and her moon is Taurus. And all I knew when I read that is I'm never going to have an argument with you because I'm not going to win. Because Taurus are bulls, represented by a bull. She's got 2 bulls in 2 houses and she's a lion as well. So imagine having a fight with her. But in saying
I
that,
feel like it's one of those YouTube things. Who would win, a lion or 2 bulls? You know, like a gorilla or 100 men.
but in saying that you are very set in your ways, you have certain, I think you've mentioned before, you're quite logical and systematic. So that makes sense. And then came up like a little description of you, and it's materialistic queen is what came up. And I'm not sure if you agree with that, but that's what they say, a materialistic queen. So all I knew, Taurus is about food, wine, comfort, seduction.
So not you, Renee.
This is not me. This is Alex.
Yeah, I was just like saying so not you.
Yeah,
It's like reading her. Go on.
and then
That's one things I would do for a guy that I was trying to like win over was like cook them a nice meal and then
See?
you know what?
see, you love language, food.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it actually made sense.
So and then Leo
Because
is
my mum always said a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So I think I kind of, and being like wogs
did
and
not
stuff,
get
I
that
kind
memo.
of grew up that cooking was so important, and that's how you like get people to like you.
yeah. Well, that's my love language is food.
I hear it's all I hear.
So. So the stars. Okay, so
I fed people in another way. Sorry. Go on. Wasn't
Lucy's
doing
got
food.
other skills.
Go.
so materialistic queen. You do agree? You agree with what I've found out about you?
Yeah,
Do you agree?
100%.
Yeah?
Some of the other things they said was that materialistic queen, but they said not flamboyant.
No.
And I think that sums it up. Like I always thought about, like, I've always wanted to work hard to get things, I guess, in materialistic ways, but I wasn't flamboyant. Like, I'm not going to drive a Lamborghini down the street just because I can afford one or whatever, you know? So, like, I think that made sense as well. Like, I always wanted to build things, but not show it off. Yeah.
So down to earth.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because Taurus is an earth sign. So within the actual astrological chart, you've got 4 elements. You've got earth, air, water, and fire. So if you look at that, Taurus is earth, rising is earth, and then your main sign is fire. So I'm not sure if you have a temper. I haven't seen it much.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Ooh, I have a temper.
Yeah.
Really?
When I
So
yelled at your dad, remember?
Oh, yeah.
The whole suburb heard.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was kind of like, okay, the little
Where did that
mouse
come
from?
puffed up, and then that was it. And I was like, I would have kept going.
and also a Leo is a leader. So they're the
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, I
they're-
take
that's
that back.
very-
Yes, you do. But it's very rare.
It's calculated.
Oh,
I think it's a calculated temper.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
comes out when
Jesus.
it needs to.
It's measured.
measure.
Very.
Unlike me.
I actually just got goosebumps. Something
You're like,
kind.
when am I next?
Just quickly, I was like, calculated and measured. Jesus.
Calculated.
All right, so Lucy, let's look at you, and there's no doubt. I know you're a Piscean, and I love the fact that you're a Piscean. By the
Just
way,
like, I'm every definition of Piscean.
Tell me lots about a Piscean.
to all the listeners, I'm a Piscean rising, so this is why Lucy and I have always got along, because we like to escape reality at times.
Totally.
We
All
do
right now.
So the one thing about Pisceans is we like to escape reality. We are dreamers, so definitely dreamer.
Yeah.
And your rising is Gemini, so that's the talking.
Do you know what? No, and you know what that is? It makes me even more erratic.
So
It does.
yeah,
The
I can't make
description here-
decisions, so I'm even more like,
The description here of chatty flower child, I could not pick 3 more words to describe you.
so that's what came up
That's exactly what you are.
as Lucy's descriptor, as a chatty flower child. But your moon's Capricorn,
which
So-
is so odd.
which is, can I explain what Capricorn
Yes,
is?
please.
So
Go.
Capricorn is represented by a goat. They are the most determined star sign of the of this of
See, I don't
the
see that.
of the
Am I
wheel.
determined? I don't think so.
I think you're
I
determined.
think I'm like, when I've got something in my head, but not all the time. That's like, oh no, rare. That's like, leap year.
So you're not stubborn?
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, I take it back. I'm just trying to think. Yeah.
So you see,
I have a stupid shit, though.
yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you may,
yeah.
but it
okay,
does.
stubborn, yes, maybe.
So and then looking at that, so chatty flower. So you're always chatty, and you're always you are like flower.
I don't like
not
quiet.
flower, like a flower, because you're always quite bright.
Really?
Yes, you are. Chatty
Definitely.
flower child, definitely. And a child, the fact that they use the word child, I do think you have a
Such
very.
a cow.
No, I think
No, it's like an innocence.
I am.
And a joy. Like all the
You
fun,
know why? Because I do
happiness
act
shit
like I'm 2. Well, I think I've gone up, as I've gotten older, I think 5 or 6.
Two.
It's the capacity I've gone up to. As
Yeah.
a child. I'm a child.
That's your age.
In the mind.
Yeah.
Like I am.
What you're trying to say is you're young at heart.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am, but in an idiot kind of way. Do you get what I'm saying? I am, aren't I? It's like you got to rein me
Well,
in all the time.
you play really well with my kids.
See, there you go.
Speak the same language.
We're on the same
you come
level.
Up with games that I'm like, how did she
I
just
know.
invent that? And then
Because
I play
I'm
them
slow.
now too.
Oh no, I'm not slow. I'm just strange.
No,
No,
it's just,
no, it's
it's
not.
just your frequency. Like you're just like I said, it's like an innocence, joy, beauty, like a lightness to it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And
not-
so,
Here you go.
if I break it down even
Sorry.
more,
Go.
it's okay. No,
I'll stop talking.
no, you don't.
Talkative.
But if I break it down, so Pisces is water, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that explains Pisceans, by the way, I know a lot of Pisceans in my life, shocking at making decisions. Absolutely shocking. And
That's
then,
really true.
and then you've got Gemini, which is air. So that's the light, the rising, and Capricorn is earth. So you've got 3 elements within your actual
Wow.
within you. So the elements always play an important part because they, as you look at elements, it's like looking at seasons. So when you do your rising sign calculator and you're looking at air, water, fire, earth, see where they fit and align yourself with that. So if you're an air sign, that means you're quite easygoing. If you're a fire sign, you probably, as I said earlier, you've got a bad temper. If you're a water sign, you can't make a decision if I paid you to. And then earth are really stuck in their ways. They're 4 different ways of looking at it. So when you do break down the rising sign calculator online, take those elements into consideration. So for me, I'll let you know what I am because I don't think I portray myself as a typical Libran because Librans are quite peaceful.
Sorry, I just nearly choked.
And I do consider myself peaceful when everything's my way. So furthermore to that, if I look at my particular rising sign, my rising sign is a Pisces, but my moon is Aries. So if I break that
shit.
down further,
You're psycho.
well, Arians are very, very determined. They're leaders. They've got bad tempers. They're the child of the zodiac, and they lose their temper if they don't get their way. So that probably explains a few things about a few things about me. But it's not me all the time. You just have to poke the bear at the right time.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. That's
Not
you at all.
not all the time, but if I don't get my way, I will lose my temper. And so I look at my particular 3 signs, and you can see Libra air, rising is water, and then I've got fire. So 3 different elements. I've got no earth in me whatsoever, and I can tell you that now. I've got no earth. Because there's nothing, honestly, there's nothing. I don't get really stuck in things. I like to keep moving with things around me. So that's how I break that down. So yeah, there's your rising calculator, a rising sign calculation for you.
That was mind blown because I only ever just looked at the Leo stuff and I just never thought there was more to it.
I think that's where people make a mistake because if I have a conversation,
so much more to it.
Yeah, if I have a conversation with somebody about star signs, and it was usually with the guy on, their first date, that's because my typical pickup line.
You're that person.
Oh
my
my
God.
What is your I've had some really good. I had to write them down because I forgot that I've had some killer ones.
Yeah. So, what is your star sign? I was probably always
unoriginal.
within the first 15 minutes of a date. Not that I had lots
That's
of dates.
one thing, though, that has never synced up for me because when I was reading all of that this morning, it said that your ideal person was a Scorpio. And I went back and like all of the boyfriends I can remember, none of them were a Scorpio that I know of, like that I can think of. And then there's the rest that I don't even remember what their name is. So, but the rest I don't think were Scorpios.
So maybe you should look up your husband's rising sign calculator, get time he was born, and you might have Scorpio somewhere in there.
Isn't he Sag?
Yeah, but he might have
It's
it.
the 20th of December.
That's a Sagittarius. But if you look at the other, if you look at the other bits like the rising and the moon, he may have a Scorpio in there.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to do the time.
Yeah, the
We've got to
time
ask your mum when he was
was
born.
born and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Okay, so I've given you some books there to have a look at, girls.
Yes.
Look at that. Basically,
God, this is so hard.
We've given
I
Lucy
feel
a
like I'm on
task.
pressure.
what?
Because I
Do you want
can't
me to do
this.
it? I don't care.
Oh, okay, you do it.
What the books?
It's so hard.
Okay.
No, I do. I'm getting overwhelmed, anxious.
Okay,
So-
first is me apparently in the green tab.
So green
Let's have a
tab is
look.
Alex, and look, this is a
like an
book.
overall at the front.
Alex,
Oh, this is cool.
would you like to just show the view?
Oh my God. I just read my favourite alcoholic beverage. Oh, I could not be more.
Do you want to just show?
Oh my God.
Okay, just say what it is.
No, I can't read some of these.
Do you want me to do it?
No, but I can't read some of those.
What's that one?
Yes, you can.
Oh.
Yes, you can. Just read it.
No, I'm
no.
not. I'm going to be very...
Well, Miss-
Harry Potter house. Oh, this is great. Okay.
So miss anything you don't want to read, just miss
Okay,
it. That's
so-
no big deal.
I'll read my own then.
Oh, let's
don't-
read our own. Let's do that.
Okay, cool. So
Okay.
a Starbucks drink, pumpkin spice latte, that is definitely
That's
not
disgusting
me.
and no.
A colour gold? Nah, not really. Greek god, Apollo, nah. Addiction shopping? Nah, I'm not really addicted to shopping. Alcoholic beverage is champagne, which at the moment all I'm
Yep.
into is George Jensen champagne.
What was that?
George Jensen Prosecco.
Oh, I thought you were drinking George Johnson.
City, Hollywood, California. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm more of an Austin, Texas person now.
Oh, I love Austin,
If everyone
Texas.
knows. Harry Potter house, Gryffindor. Obviously a Gryffindor being a lion. A kiss is heated. Ooh, teen movie, Clueless. A clothing item, anything sparkly. I'm the exact opposite of that.
See, there you
I
go.
will take all sparkles off something. Famous landmark, Versailles. At least I've been there. It's a big, very opulent house. Let them
Boring.
eat cake.
Oh, Jesus.
Synchronicity.
Yes.
You know how I bought a KitchenAid? You know how I bought a KitchenAid mixer? You know how we were talking
You're
about
talking
that?
to the guru here.
I
She's got
finally
every
bought my
single-
kitchen. You know how you can get it engraved?
Yes, yes.
Guess what I've got engraved on it?
Versailles.
Let them eat cake.
Oh, get out.
Because I use it to make the kids'
Oh, that's
cake.
very nice.
That
Oh
is
my
funny.
God. And season summer. Yeah, that's 100% me.
All right, so
Lucy or
Lucy,
blue?
your turn. I think you're.
That's a
the blue?
synchronicity.
That's actually a cute little book, Renee.
I want that book.
Is this your lifeline, is it? That's
You're-
I just can't believe how
You're at
accurate
the back
some of those
because you're a
things on there
Piscean.
was.
Starbucks drink white hot chocolate. I could think nothing gross.
Okay.
No, we're
Vomit.
more like strong coffee,
Colour
plain,
grey
simple.
blue.
Your eyes.
Yeah, but I like that, like flamboyant colors. Addiction, alcohol. Yes.
That's my
Do
rising.
you know what? You know what? The older I get, the more I'm loving my alcohol. Greek god Hades. Oh, yeah, destruction.
God of hell. Hades is hell.
Yeah, I love that guy. Alcohol beverage, Jack and Coke. No, because I threw up. Mm-hmm. Oh, a drug, Valium. You know what? Valium has come in handy over the years. No, I mean like back in the day. Actually, Valium would be good right now.
Mellow you out.
I don't think it does anything.
Trust me, it does things. I know.
Just saying for me. Anyway, in high school, stoner kids. Yes. City, London.
Yeah,
I
I'd
say
say
No, I
that.
do love London, but
You're a
I
Shoreditch
like.
girl.
Do you know what it is? No, I like small towns.
Oh, okay.
Maybe only because I'm only there for a
Like
month.
the movie, The Holiday.
Yes. What else have we got here? Harry Potter, Gryffindor. Okay, whatever. A kiss, sensual. Okay. A teen movie. She's the man. Well, I am a man. I'm manly. I'm not romantic. I'm romantic. Do you know what I mean? I have been called that and told that many times. Comfortable clothing. Clothing item, comfortable leggings. I can think nothing more worse and restrictive.
You're wearing comfortable clothes
Okay,
now,
right. Okay, they're like kind of cargos. They're not like leggings.
Yeah.
They're like stripping me and sucking me up. It's not like Spanx.
Yeah.
Fuck me, Dad. A famous landmark, Niagara Falls. No, I'm not a fan of America. I've never been to America. Yeah, no, not on my thing.
Do a
That's
tour.
actually really, really cool.
I actually want this
Shall-
book
shall I
now.
do mine?
Yes,
She
she
wants
is. I
that
really
book
want to
now.
do yours now. I want this book and I want to read the
So
rising bits too.
there's a plug for the author, Chrissy Stockton. Basically, this is a book that says how you
You're
do
so teacher.
how you'll do
Such a
everything based on your zodiac sign, and it's really quite interesting because I'll go to Libran as such.
You should have been on Play School. Can I just say that? Sorry.
Oh,
She would have been so good.
Would have made so much more money. Anyways, so my favorite. So now I'm a podcaster. No, my favorite Starbucks drink is hot chocolate. That's not true. Color is rose. I'd say that's true. Greek god Aphrodite, absolutely. Addiction, sleeping pills. No, that's not true.
No, you're my alcohol.
Alcoholic beverage, cosmopolitan, synchronicity. On the weekend, what did I do?
You
I took
had
a
one.
flight to Cosmo. There you go. Drug, cannabis. No, that reminds me of a past boyfriend, and I left him because of that. In a school cliche. Is it cliche? The click. The popular kids. A city, Rio de Janeiro. That's very true. I went there. Beautiful. I don't know Harry Potter, so I'm even going to read that out. An untraceable French word. Can't read that either. A kiss is
I speak French.
a kiss is fiery. A teen movie. John Tucker Must Die. Haven't
Oh,
watched-
yeah, no.
No, okay. Clothing item, oversized t-shirt. That's probably very true because I, as of late, am buying lots of retro t-shirts that are oversized. Famous landmark, Mount Fuji. Mountain? Mountain? Japan, yes.
Yeah.
Summer season. So this is great because it also has, I'll just give you a quick rundown what's in it. So an overview on this. It's got the overview of each astrological sign. And then it also has things like what you need to cut out of your life. Why is everyone jealous of you? And this is in accordance to your star sign.
Do they do with rising or is it
No,
just star
this
sign?
is just basically
Okay.
your face value star sign.
Yeah.
And that's why when you go through them, not all of those traits are correct because they haven't looked at the rising and the moon.
Yeah.
And you have also got, look, here's what kind of girlfriend you are.
What is she? Tell me.
Who, me?
You.
Going to find it up.
I think I had lovers
Fast forward.
in there. Well, she's like in the sack. No.
you
It
really
does
wanna
actually
know
have
that?
that. No, she's interesting. Okay, don't read her. Read me.
I am with your brother.
Lazy starfish. This is me.
No, I'm just trying to find.
Energetic
I'm thinking
starfish.
where somewhere.
No,
else.
tell me
Thinking
which one.
something else.
I like the one that says how you're going to die.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that
Shall
one.
we do that one just for fun? Page 214, everybody. I haven't tabbed this page, so forgive me. I'm going to go here.
When you go from the tabs, Renee, and then go from there.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do. Read a book.
We've all forgotten how to
Has
read
it
a
gotten
Read a
harder?
book
Has
with
it gotten
real- with
harder?
real
No,
pages.
because you swipe with the Kindle.
book. Yeah.
Yeah, see? Life. Okay, so Piscean, I'll do you first, my dear. Pisces will wander off into traffic while writing a poem on their iPhone.
Can I tell you something? That's so true.
or getting lost in the lyrics to whatever dreamy song is playing in
Whilst
their
I'm
headphones.
walking off a cliff,
There we go.
I'm going, fuck.
And
That is so true.
So true.
Leo, my dear Leo to my left, a Leo will die in a desperate plea for attention.
Oh.
Oh, no, I
Every
can't see that.
hashtag selfie death has been a Leo. Libran, that's me. Libran will die doing something for someone they love. There will be a flu shot shortage 1 year and they'll forego or whatever. Okay, that's probably a bit
It's pretty depressing, you two.
over the top. But anyway, that's a great book to have a look at, how you do everything based on your zodiac. So it's really a good, interesting read. Okay. So there we are. And then we have another book, but they're about Chinese signs. I think if we start talking a little bit about Chinese signs first, but before we do that, I just wanted to show you how much.
Show and tell. It is
Oh,
playful.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, so how do you
Good work, though.
But how do you think they do astrological readings? And like, if you read your weekly report, they actually astrologers look at particular planets where they're positioned in the universe in your sign at any given time. So, like, for example, I know as a Libran, this is apparently my best year of my life, and I'm going to be rich and famous. That's what everyone keeps telling me. In my sign.
Seriously,
Yeah, because
oh my God, this is great. We're riding the gravy train.
Because
I'm holding onto your legs.
because Jupiter's in my sign.
Yeah, okay.
So when Jupiter is in your particular sign, it stands for expansion, wisdom, and growth. So I'll quickly run. So Sun, represented by Leo, is about self and vitality, identity, and self-expression. The moon is related to Cancer, so I'm relating it to the sign, and it symbolizes emotions, intuition. So that's when there's a full moon. When there's a full moon, the bars go crazy and the mental hospitals are out of control because the full moon actually takes out all your emotions.
It's crazy. Cray.
Mercury, Gemini, and Virgo. Mercury is with the communication. Mercury retrograde, I'm going to do a whole podcast on that because I swear to God, it's brilliant. And then you got Venus, which is Alex, your rising, Taurus, and also Libran. That's all about seduction as well. So Venus, and if you have Venus, it represents love, beauty, and attraction.
Is that when you're in the kitchen, Alex, and you're making your cake in your KitchenAid? Going, oh, this is for you, baby. Dough going everywhere.
I've spoken about Jupiter already. Saturn, if you get Saturn in your sign, you're in a lot of trouble because it's discipline, structure, and responsibility, and it's hard work. So I've had Saturn in my sign for the last 4 years, and you guys know a bit about what's happened in the last 4 years. Hard work.
Yeah.
And
Love you, but you have been.
yeah.
So
well,
true.
thanks. And then that's Capricorn. Uranus
realised what you
symbolizes
said.
innovation, rebirth, and sudden change. It deal with Aquarius. Neptune,
Well, I'm not
my
all
dear
there, so I am.
Piscean over there.
Not there.
Associated with dreams, spirituality, and illusions. And you got Pluto, which is Scorpio. That Pluto and all my Scorpion counterparts, they are always representing transformation, power, and deep psychological thought.
There you go.
So what happens when you get those particular star sign readings for the week or for the year or for the month or whatever, they actually are looking at where the planets are aligned in accordance to your star sign. And your star sign is really in the
Do
sky.
you know what? I just thought they woke up and went, who hasn't had shit this week?
I'm sure
and gone,
some do.
yeah,
"Oh, she's going to have a
get
great week. No, she's not.
well, it is
get
extremely,
AI to write it
it's
now.
extremely scientific.
There you go, AI.
AI
Well,
will
not
just
anymore,
write it
Renee. AI.
That's when you got to find a good horoscope versus a shit one.
Yeah. I'm not doing.
Just saying now, AI probably start doing astrology.
All right. So basically, before we move on to talking about Chinese astrologies, shall we have a look at your physical traits? So I mentioned earlier, I know,
Oh yeah, astrology and
Alex,
your looks.
you are Leo because of your hair,
hair.
and Lucy, beautiful eyes, a Piscean.
Okay.
Now, we can take that even further as such, because basically, if we look at your Taurus rising and your Gemini rising, so Taurians, I will summarize it. Taurian rising, very attractive, pleasing facial features, Alex.
Ooh.
Have a distinct neck because your neck.
That's great. I'm thinking, as we're getting into the twilight of our life, we're thinking turkey neck. She's like distinct neck.
No,
Is that what you're trying
no
to say?
one look at my neck.
They usually have a sturdy build with a strong posture,
Yeah.
and they also have.
See that?
They're ruled
But I was
by.
always like just a bigger, stronger girl. Like I wasn't like a small,
Like a
dainty girl
wave.
that just falls over when the wind comes. I was always a bit more like solid.
Okay.
Like,
I get what you mean.
especially with sport. I was a bit of a tank. Like
and
I just stand
ripped.
No. Like I just stand there and people would just like fall into me and I would, it's a basketball thing.
You would walk around going, sorry.
Yeah.
And also a distinct voice or manner when speaking. So hence you're in a podcast.
Yeah.
There you
There
go.
you go.
There you go. Agreed, pretty much, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And now Gemini
of it.
rising for Lucy.
Oh, my God.
Their face is usually an open book.
Oh yes.
How
Yeah,
about
I've never been able to play poker ever.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
didn't even get poker.
hashtag eye roll? And they're very extremely easy to read. They have bright eyes, which is very, very true. Delicate features and a friendly smile. There is no doubt that is very true.
Lucy.
Animated storytellers, we know that.
Yes, that's why she's here.
Uh,
She's our storyteller.
and hence they have great hand gestures. We know that as well.
Do I?
And then you have a lot of nervous energy.
Always.
Yes.
I do.
And funny because see how Lucy's decided to cross her legs in this particular podcast.
I still can't. I need to keep moving.
But it says here, Gemini rising shake their legs when they're sitting.
Well, I've been sorry.
So there you go. And
that's so
before
funny.
we
It's
move
better
on
than
to our halftime promo.
What was yours?
Oh, I didn't do mine.
Yeah.
I didn't because I'm doing it for you, but
Yeah.
that's Libran in me. I'll
Yeah.
do everything for you.
That's so true.
No, I do think it's a Piscean. I'd be probably Piscean rising. Oh, well, they're the best looking, of course.
Yeah.
No, that's true. So, but I just wanted to mention one more thing about Western astrology is that if you look at Western astrology, I said earlier, Aries is like the child of the astrological chart. And so if you move, every single sign has an age.
Oh.
So if you're an Aries, you're a baby. And if you're a Pisces, so Aries is first, Pisces is last. Aries being first is the baby of the zodiac, and that's those people who are young at heart. Pisceans are usually full of wisdom, like an old woman. If you're a Libran like me or a Leo, we're always in a midlife crisis because we're in the middle of the zodiac. So it's interesting to take that into consideration because every single star sign, I don't know them offhand. I think it's about 12 years between each one. Doing my math here. Or 7 years between each one. And basically the last age is 85, I think, and it starts at 0. So if you're looking at your star sign on face value, you are stuck in that age for the rest of your life, which explains me always in a midlife crisis, because I'm in the middle. I think I'm
Love
age
to be wise.
42. I think I'm 42 to 49. I don't know that offhand, but I know that there are ages in accordance to your particular star sign.
That's absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Quickly, we just want to promote Lime Flowers. They are now located in O'Connor. They have got beautiful native flowers with great service, Lorraine. Any occasion, same day service. Really good.
We love you, Lime Flowers. Thank you.
Yes, we do. All right, moving on. So we're going to look at Chinese New Year and Chinese signs.
No idea.
No idea. Okay. So as I said earlier, the Jade Emperor decided to have a race, and we basically have, as a result, Chinese signs. And Chinese signs, I think, are a bit more broader than astrological signs because it covers a whole year. And at the moment, we're in the year of the snake, which is my year. And there's also elements to that as well. If we talk about the elements maybe first, I've got them here for you to have a look at. We'll do the elements first. So
Just loving this.
your Chinese sign has an element within it. So do you know offhand, Lucy, what your...
I do because I looked it up. It was water. Is it water?
What sign is it? What animal?
Dog.
Dog? And you
I'm
are?
a good dog.
You're a water dog.
Yeah, water dog.
And then you...
I'm a fire rabbit.
a fire rabbit. So basically...
Fireball.
Let's run through all the different Chinese signs.
Okay,
first.
go.
Okay, you've got rat, who is intelligent, resourceful. You've got oxes, who are hardworking, reliable. You have tigers, who are brave and confident. You have rabbits, who are gentle and compassionate. You've got dragons, who are charismatic and ambitious. By the way, dragon is what every single Chinese mother wants their children to be born.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you,
Top of the chain.
Because that was like recently the year of the dragon,
Yeah.
and everyone was trying to have kids in the year of the dragon.
So people actually, and I'll go ahead and tell you something else. Snake is me, which is wise and intuitive, of course. Horse is independent and adventurous. You got goat, which is kind, creative, and easygoing. And funny enough, that's the least popular year. So when Chinese, there are women who find out that their child's going to be born a goat, they will go ahead and have abortion in China.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's how influential
nuts.
this is. Yep. Then you got a monkey who's clever and playful. You got a rooster who's observant and hardworking. You got dogs which are loyal and honest, and you got pigs which are generous and sincere. And there is no cat. Hey, but you can see here, that's the order that the race. That's the order they came across the line as such. And then also in saying that, there's elements within that. So if you're born in a wood year, you are creative and expansive. If you're born in a fire year, you're passionate, energy, and transformative. If you're earthy, you're stable and reliable. If you're metal, you're strength and discipline. You're water, wisdom, and adaptable. So within there,
They keep bringing up this wisdom. I don't see this wisdom. No wisdom.
you're water. So basically, when you look at your Chinese year, there's elements within in that year as well. Okay, so that just to explain that. And we've got a little book to look at later on, quite shortly. I should have a look at that. So you all know your Chinese sign and your element, pretty much. Did you ever notice that the Chinese New Year doesn't always fall on the same day?
Yes.
Because it's got to do with the alignment of the moon. So in case you know, because every year you're going, all right, so when's Chinese? Because I know I like to go celebrate Chinese New Year and go out for, dirty Chinese and have cheap meal and, celebrate the culture. And I go to, old Chinatown, and basically the new moon falls either between January 21st and February 20th. So for all those people, listeners that are born in those particular dates, you have to be really careful to have a look, because that's on the cusp of another animal. So when you're looking at those things. So maybe we should have a look at your particular signs as such. Do you want to show, Alex, should we do that?
Go for it. Let me see if I
Because
can do
it's
it.
really quite, we're going to look at the positives and the negatives, and I think we're also going to mix it with what element you are. So if you go to the first green tab along there, first one.
It's like doing contracts. Just look at the tab.
So
the rabbit.
So that's you, my dear.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I've never really felt an affinity to this one. So I thought that was really, I'm just really interested. Even though I have been to China and I have been to, Jade Mountain, and I have, a jade rabbit, which I love, and I have it on my little mantle.
Yeah.
But
You're
I'm
just
not.
Not with it.
Not with it. Positive, diplomatic, peaceful. I am very diplomatic. Sensitive, intuitive, discreet, moderate,
sensitive?
reflective. Sensitive.
I think you're sensitive.
Don't know.
Could be, or depending on the time of the
It's
month.
it's real
Like when I'm emotional.
50-50. Reflective, principled, refined, hospitable, intelligent, expressive, honourable. Yeah, some of those things. But I think sometimes with all this, it's you just gravitate to the words that you feel like you
That's
are,
correct,
and then
yeah.
you kind of
In that moment too.
the ones that you're not.
Let's have some
Negatives.
negatives.
Indecisive,
Me.
unpredictable, hesitant, faint-hearted, easily shocked, touchy, conservative, conformist, egotistical, superficial, cruel, gossipy, cunning, secretive, pedantic. I'd say I'm 50% of those.
But she's not telling us which 50%.
I was thinking that.
That's Alex being cunning.
Exactly. But it's some of them are different circumstances, are
Yes,
very
yep.
specific. Yeah. And obviously with age as well, I feel like
Changes.
as I've gotten older, some things aren't as prevalent as they were when I might have been a kid.
I've got to know
That's really
Renee's.
interesting.
Oh, go to the first pink.
Do Renee's?
Do snake. So by the way, Chinese astrology, if
Ooh.
you have a snake in your house, you never worry about money, which is nice to
wish
know.
I had a snake in my
Yeah, so if you ever
Are you talking about it like a physical?
No, if you have it no,
Yeah,
see what I mean?
in Australia, it's
Not
a
all
bit
there.
no, literally, if you have somebody who's in Chinese astrology and they are a snake in your house, like a person,
I'm going to kidnap someone.
you
and
don't
put them
have
in
to
the
worry
house.
about the fact that finances. That's an old saying. That's an old Chinese saying.
Okay.
So yeah, and you know me, I've never thought about it. Go ahead.
You never needed to.
So Miss Snake Renee, distinguished, elegant, self-contained, shrewd, profound, perceptive, lucid, sophisticated, wise, gregarious, sensual, curious, reflective, and organised.
Well,
There's a lot of those.
I reckon
There's a lot of those.
organisers.
What are you?
Yeah. Okay, let's go with the bad
Negative,
stuff.
God.
extravagant, or vengeful,
Oh,
That's true.
obstinate, calculating, mean with money. I
No.
don't say you're mean.
No, not at
To be
all.
generous.
I reckon that person I was speaking to on the phone this
Yeah,
morning with
exactly.
about the accommodation thought I was mean. Go ahead. Yeah.
Cruel, self-doubting,
Mm-hmm.
suspicious and crafty, remote, possessive, anxious, jealous, dishonest. So let's do Miss Lucy, the dog. You want
Woof, woof.
woof woof. Positive, loyal,
No.
tolerant,
No.
idealistic, understanding, dutiful,
No way in hell.
moralistic, faithful, unselfish, noble, imaginative, honest, courageous, responsible, witty, trustworthy, sensitive. Negative,
Yes.
cynical, anxious,
Mm-hmm.
pessimistic, suspicious, timid, strict, discouraging, doubtful, discontented, fatalistic, obstinate, distrustful, shy, introverted, unadventurous, and tasteless.
I'm introverted.
At times.
I'm extroverted. I'm an extrovert introvert.
Yeah, I don't really
Depending
get
what mood I'm in. I'm so not creative at all.
All right, so that's just a brief introduction for everyone about
interesting one.
Chinese astrology. Can I just grab this book? Because I've had this book since I was 12.
It has like nice old book smell.
Yeah, so I've had that since I was 12. But that's how I've looked at Chinese astrology through my life. And it's just something fun to follow or, look at now and then. If you're into it, you are something, a reason to go out on Chinese New Year and celebrate something because it is so ingrained in Chinese culture. Like it's part of that. It's unbelievable how they live by in China. So this leads me to the last part of our podcast, which is the introduction of a new segment. And I think this is like, a book club on steroids. We're going to do Watch, Sip, Repeat, which basically every fourth podcast we're going to talk about something that we watched on Netflix that.
Or one of the other many streaming services
that you've now
all must sign up for.
got into.
So basically, we're going to set ourselves a personal challenge. We're going to pick a show. We're going to talk about it. Well, are we going to let the viewers know what we're going to pick? And
Yes,
then
then
so
they've got time.
we can watch it together.
Yes.
And then we can all have a conversation about what we've watched. I think it's a great idea. So
Shout out my friend Peter, whose idea it was.
So basically, we looked at 9 Perfect Strangers. We're back on the Nicole Kidman
Train.
train,
The
so to
potato.
speak. Yep, Renee's favourite potato. And basically, we all watched 9. I actually watched it back in 2021.
Yeah, when the first season came out.
But I was pregnant at that time, and I realised I actually remembered nothing. So I do remember the storyline, but I didn't remember the details. And it's amazing how 4 years you've
I
watched.
do that with most shows though.
I do that a day after on that day.
Yeah, and I thought being a history teacher I'd remember, but I remembered nothing. And so I have to sign up for Prime. Another one I had to sign up for. And I've got a few questions here. I suppose maybe Alex or Lucy, do you want to ask these questions or do you want me to ask about the show? What do we thought?
I think we start with favourite characters.
Oh, okay. Favorite character, Lucy? Do you have a favourite character on the show?
I totally forgot their names, but I like Melissa McCarthy.
Frances.
That's her.
Yes,
Are
Frances.
we watching season 2?
No, we're watching seasons 1.
No, after season 2.
This is going out done well with a bang.
Have you
I've
watched
forgotten half
these?
it.
I do remember it.
You
Yeah,
do remember
okay, that's
Frances.
right.
All right.
Yes.
Frances.
I do remember it.
Melissa, what's her name? Melissa McCarthy.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, she was very good. She was fantastic in her role as a writer who was trying to find herself again,
Yeah.
who got let go and she ended up with a footballer, pretty much.
That's what I love about the show though. It's just they all have so many different characters. You can kind of just name them based on like what they are, like the writer, the
And
this,
the family
that.
was good
It's
too.
like a Cluedo, like how there's all one. Everyone's got like a name, and I just like how they all kind of intertwine with themselves and how she like picks who goes there for like a particular reason.
Can I say who my favourite character?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, it's Nicole Kidman.
Yes.
Marsha. But I don't know if you knew, she actually did method acting for this. So basically,
Oh.
she stayed in character the whole time.
How do you research all these
think she
bloody
just took
things when you're
mushrooms.
watching?
No, I found. Oh, I researched. Yeah.
Are you like me? I actually get bored and start looking up who I'm watching
No,
and then go.
I saw her on the Graham Norton show and she was talking about her role in it and she explained that she did method acting for this.
Okay.
So basically she'd come home every day to Keith Urban and she'd still have a Russian accent.
That would be hot in bed.
He apparently really appreciated it.
I bet he did. I bet he loved Natasha.
So basically,
long-legged.
So she stayed in character the whole time while
Lie
they were
down in
filming.
bed, close your eyes.
And
I will spunk you now. Open your legs.
oh, we're going down that road way too quickly. Alex, who was your favourite character?
Well, I can't remember because I've been concentrating on season 2.
You
Yeah,
can tell me
just come
about it
back
because
to
I
me.
probably will fast forward through it.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
It's all good, okay. But what was devastating for me, absolutely devastating, I started following Luke Evans on Instagram because I thought he was really.
Oh, how did you not know this?
I did not know.
I know where you're going with
I
this.
didn't know he'd bat for the other team.
Oh,
I had
for a long time.
No idea.
A long time.
That's how under-researched I was on Luke Evans.
He loved musicals.
I didn't know any of that. I know I don't hold that against him, but I had no idea.
I know, but he's hot.
Yeah, but I do feel like 9 Perfect Strangers, and I'm sure season 2 is the same. She's doing the same thing, bringing people back. It's about that grief that you feel and what lengths people will go to just get one more minute or meeting with that person that's gone.
That would be anyone, really.
Yeah,
do something.
I know, but I thought they delved into that quite well. And once again, it's that whole tone, dramatic tone, but there's light moments in it as well, which you think, okay, so there's a solution here. There must be a solution at the end. Give us a rundown on season 2. How's that? How
Well,
does
it's
that
pretty
play?
much the same, except it's set in the snow. And they've got, so she then again
So creative.
she picks the 7 or 8 or 9 people or 11, and they all come there, and the first 5 episodes are out, and it's about just, I guess, character building. The first 5 is just learning all their backstories, and you start to understand how they connected and why she decided for each of those different people to come.
Okay.
Because they've all got different, like, you know, pasts and things, and how they actually related to each other as well that they don't even know. So it's just building it, and then now I think there's the next 3 episodes are fed once a week.
All right.
So yeah, really excited to see what happens there, but it's the same concept.
Oh, she's
It's
got
really
a new
interesting.
hairstyle, I think.
Yeah, she's short.
Yeah.
Just
Short hair
watch
in
it.
this
Just watch
one.
the last episode. It'll tell you everything. That's what I do. No, I've
No,
been doing that
You
lately.
got to build. I think you got to build with the characters to like understand.
Can I just tell you my new thing? I'll watch a movie with he doesn't know this, but I will look it up and then go to the plot and read it just so I know what's going on.
So you
Because
don't have to
halfway through I go, what happened? He goes, were you paying attention? I literally zone out and go, where the hell am I?
Oh, no, we have like a no phone policy, like when we're watching a movie
No.
together, because if not, I don't pay attention. Like, and there's some shows that
But
I
I'll
will
watch
just
it
go
when I
straight
know
over
what's
my
happening.
head. Yeah.
Is that weird?
So what's our next watch, ship, repeat so that people can watch with us so that in 2 weeks' time they can,
I believe we're going to do Madame Clicquot.
yes.
Which is a really good story which entwines really well with our show because we are called Wiser with Wine. And this is just a rundown for you. Madame Clicquot was a widow, I can't remember which century, but she decided that she's going to make champagne and hence Veuve Clicquot. But she wasn't known for her beauty. So basically to get society back and get people back, she decided to put a picture of herself on top of all the corks. So if anyone's opened a bottle of Veuve Clicquot, you'll see there's this really ugly woman on top of the cork. And that's Madame Clicquot. Now, I'm not sure if she's ugly in the Netflix series, but that's a backstory for you because she wanted to get
I
back
wouldn't
at
watch it if that was the case.
she wanted to get back at everyone. One, she was female, and one, she wasn't, the prettiest oil painting. So she put herself on every single bottle.
That's
and there's
awesome.
so we're going to watch that before the next watch, sit, repeat, and we'll let you know.
See, I'll watch that.
We'll watch that, and I think it's a short movie. It's not a series, but
Yeah.
I think it would be nice to talk about wine since we are, that's in our title, our name. So why not talk
And we've
about
got a lot of fun wine stuff coming up.
and why not talk about champagne?
Drink wine.
we,
I want to drink wine.
Oh, yes, we'll have a drink. People have asked me this. They
Oh,
said,
my
are
God.
you going to drink wine? And I said, oh, yes, we're going to have very specific episodes where
have
we'll be
no-
drinking and tasting and testing wine.
I have no problem drinking at any time of the day.
Same here. I would do it at
No
9,
problem.
7:30 in the morning.
And on that note, shall we call it a wrap for today?
Yeah.
Ladies, that was lots of fun. I hope you enjoyed your star sign, Chinese sign. Do
I'm
your
going to
sign.
go look
loads
up
of stuff,
I'm
but
going
I
to go
will
look
forget
up
it.
Christo's now. I want to see what Christo's is.
And I think everyone should, figure out what your partner is really doing. Okay, I'll let you go. See you soon.
See you guys.
Bye. Bye.